Channel 4 is in use for the language transport.
Copy.
Alright, you're going over here, Mr. Buddha. Which one is it? This one?
Yeah.
This one. Yeah.
Just in the back here, Mr. Buddha.
I will see you up there, Mr. Buddha.
There he is. Damn, they look rough.
That's what I was thinking.
I think Robin's gonna be there for support, maybe, but I think he's representing himself.
I have had 7 docket cases. 5 of which are only in this month. I am nervous as shit. I know this is the easiest case ever, but I'm still nervous as shit.
You have no witnesses.
Opal, listen to me, right? Let me do this. So, remember when I was a marshal and I walked in on that case with you and I just took over? You remember that bench trial, Opal?
Yeah.
Right. I knew that day you had it in you to be as good as you wanted to be in court. You have all the foundations down. All you've got to do is execute. But you're ready. You're ready. You have all the foundations in place to kill this.
Friend, she's still in the ICU. I can still do that.
Oh, court is in session. I gotta go, Cormac.
Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started. If you have your phone on you, if you somehow managed to get it in here, please mute it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, people of the court, this court is now called into session for the people versus Lang Buddha. Are all parties present and ready to proceed?
Prosecution is present and ready to proceed.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Mr. Buddha, it is my understanding, once again, that you will not have any attorneys or anything of the sorts, and you will be representing yourself. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay. Prosecution or defense, do we have any pretrial matters that we need to attend to?
Yes, I know I didn't include Mr. Lang on my list for witnesses, because one, I did not know if he was fit to stand trial, and obviously I did not know if he wanted to waive his right to the 5th, but if he is willing to waive his rights to, remain silent, I would like to call Mr. Lang as a witness.
Just be granting that at this time, and we will continue to move on. All right, we are here today to examine criminal charges brought against Mr. Lang Buddha. Mr. Buddha, can you please step forward? I will now read off all the charges that you are facing today, and I will request a plea for each individual one. You stand accused of the following. 1 count of criminal possession of a firearm class 2. How do you plead to this charge?
Guilty.
1 count of attempted first-degree murder for the murder of Ilya Karishnikov.
Guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
1 count of first-degree murder for Cassie Carlisle. How do you plead to this charge?
Guilty.
1 count of first-degree murder for Tommy DeVito.
Guilty.
And 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder for the attacks on Larry Knox. And finally, you face 1 count of serial assaults and killings. How do you plead to this charge?
Guilty.
Do you have anything you would like to say for yourself? If not, you may step down.
Judge Beric, what you've heard so far is as clear as it is chilling. Lang Buddha has confessed to the brutal murders of Tommy DeVito, Ilya Karishnikov, and Cassie Carlisle. These were not random acts of violence, nor were they committed in a moment of passion or impulse. Buddha's confession reveals something far more sinister: premeditation and calculation. The facts of this case are straightforward. Buddha, a member of the same gang as the victims, knew them intimately. He knew their routines, their habits, and the most personal details of their lives. They trusted him. And it is because of this intimate knowledge and trust that he was able to carry out these murders with precision, methodically, and deliberately. Buddha has confessed to each murder, providing details that only someone directly involved in these heinous acts could know. These confessions are not a matter of debate. They are a clear admission of guilt. In addition to the 3 murders, Buddha also admitted to attempting to kill Larry Knox and Renato Ortiz, again, fellow members of his gang, further reinforcing his willingness to end the lives of those around him without hesitation or remorse. The only piece of evidence we need is Buddha's own words. His confession is damning. It paints a picture of a man who understood exactly what he was doing, a man who had time to plan his actions, and a man who, with full knowledge and intent, chose to kill. There is no doubt, no ambiguity, no reasonable explanation other than that Lang Buddha is responsible for these tragic deaths. He has admitted it, and his confession is the most reliable evidence we have. There's no question that he took the lives of Tommy DeVito, Ilya Karishnikov, and Cassie Carlisle. I trust that you will find Lang Buddha guilty of all charges, 3 counts of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of serial assaults and killings, as well as criminal possession of a firearm class 2. He has confessed to these crimes, and justice demands that we hold him accountable. As we come to the conclusion, I respectfully ask that you consider not only the severity of the crimes committed by Lang Buddha, but also the circumstances surrounding his actions and his behavior since his arrest. Lang Buddha has fully confessed to the murders of Tommy DeVito, Ilya Karishnikov, and Cassie Carlisle. His confession is both clear and undeniable. However, what distinguishes this case is not only the admission of guilt, but also the remorse that Lang Buddha has shown since his confession. He has expressed genuine regret for the lives he has taken and the irreversible damage he has caused to the victims and their family. His remorse is not merely an acknowledgement of the tragedy, but a heartfelt recognition of the pain and loss he inflicted. Furthermore, Buddha's behavior since his incarceration has been exemplary. He has complied with all regulations, shown respect for the authorities, and demonstrated a commitment to bettering himself. His conduct stands in stark contrast to the cold, calculated actions he took in the past. While this is no excuse for his crimes, it shows a man who has reflected deeply on the magnitude of his actions and is now seeking redemption. One significant and important factor that must be considered is the closure of Buddha's confession provided to the family of Tommy DeVito. Tommy's body was only found because Lang Buddha, in his willingness to take responsibility, led authorities to the location. This act, though it cannot undo the devastation caused by the murder, allowed Tommy's family to properly mourn, give him a final resting place, and find peace knowing what happened to him. We ask, in light of his remorse, the closure provided to the DeVito family, and his exemplary behavior since his arrest, the potential
I didn't
for
realize that
rehabilitation.
Opal was a defense
Lang Buddha
attorney.
has demonstrated significant potential for rehabilitation. The defendant has
They
expressed
pushed
remorse, so instead of
multiple
placing the
hug
defendant in a prison
charges,
environment which may inhibit
non-expungable.
his growth,
Yeah.
And I'm
I'm
so confused.
But his actions in leading authorities to Tommy DeVito's body and his efforts to better himself demonstrate a man who, while having committed grave wrongs, has shown he can reflect on his actions, seek change. We understand the severity of the crimes for which Lang Buddha is responsible, and we are not asking for leniency in light of pain and lost cause. However, we respectfully request that Your Honor consider his remorse, his willingness to confront the consequences of his action, and the positive steps he has taken towards rehabilitation. These factors warrant a consideration for a reduced sentence that balances justice with the potential for transformation, allowing Lang Buddha the opportunity to make amends and ultimately reintegrate into society as a reformed individual. Additionally, the prosecution respectfully asks for alternative sentencing in the case of Lang Buddha in light of the unique circumstances surrounding the defendant and the interests of justice. While the charges against the defendant are serious, we believe that an alternative sentence, such as community service, home confinement, or participation in restorative justice program, would better serve both the defendant's rehabilitation and the community. We present the following reasons for requesting such alternatives. The defendant's risk to public safety. Based on the available evidence, we acknowledge that the defendant's actions do not present an ongoing threat to public safety that would typically justify a lengthy prison sentence. The defendant has shown a willingness to take responsibility for his actions. 2. The potential for rehabilitation. Lang Buddha has demonstrated significant potential for rehabilitation. The defendant has expressed remorse, so instead of placing the defendant in a prison environment which may inhibit his growth, we believe that home confinement with electronic monitoring or a community-based program will foster the positive changes necessary for his reintegration into society. 3. Avoidance of prison violence. The prosecution is concerned about the safety of Lang Buddha if incarcerated in a traditional prison environment. Given the recent threats against his life from other inmates, we believe that continuing his life.
Can I just say she did a real good job on this.
Within a volatile and dangerous prison,
I can tell she put so much effort into this.
Irreparable harm. Within a volatile and dangerous prison may lead to irreparable harm. Alternative sentencing would ensure both the defendant's protection and his access to rehabilitative resources. Sentencing would
He's
ensure
too
both the defendant's
delicate to
protection
be in
and his
prison?
access to rehabilitative resources. Therefore, we respectfully request that the court consider an alternative.
The serial assaulting killer is too delicate to be in prison.
I thank the court for its consideration of this request.
All right, thank you, Opal. With that, I will begin to deliberate, and until I return, Nathaniel, the court is yours, and anybody that disrespects it, do with them as you please.
Guys, I have reason to believe that there's a knife in that cane. You should take that cane away from him immediately.
He can't walk without the cane.
He's gonna stab himself. He hates
He's
himself
not
right
gonna
now.
stab himself.
Get that cane out of his hands.
Since you're obviously giving him the death penalty, will he be able to at least choose the way he's going? He's going to be strapped to a chair, and he's going to be forced to watch on a 56-inch flat screen TV the Boston Celtics championship games on repeat.
Mr. Mason. Mr. Mason. Oh.
What did you say?
He said that's an order, Opal.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'll come over there with you. I'll come over there with you. No, you gotta do it. You have it's.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yes.
Do you know
I'll back
what
you.
that will look like?
I know, but I will back you.
Okay. Listen. I have reason to believe that you may be hiding a knife in your cane. Do you mind if I just give it a quick check to see if there's any knives in the cane?
Yeah, sure. There you go.
I don't know. Looks good to me. Looks like a regular old cane.
Feels like a normal cane to me. It's not really hollow, you know. It doesn't feel hollow.
I'm like so actively confused by that closing. How do you press charges of multiple murders and then say this guy's too delicate to be in prison?
I really wish I had an option to speak, because I would have gone up there and ranted about how this man's been terrorizing this city for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I literally conducted a huge investigation.
I also noticed that Arcadia left after Beric, so I think she's going to go
the
down.
murders he's confessed to are not the only ones he's responsible for.
Nah, Opal's killing it, bro. Shout out Opal, for real. Yeah, she's amazing. She really is. Phenomenal role player.
Wait, are they deliberating already? What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he pled guilty to everything.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
I don't want to keep him waiting too long, but I also trying to think about anything interesting that could be done.
It's far more not a deliberation of whether he's guilty or not guilty, but way more the severity of the charge and the time and fine and what happens after. He is facing very serious charges, and hearing in your closing that you're wanting to entertain community service as a part of this, it's going to take a moment to see what he can actually entertain and what other previous cases that had similar charges, you know, what was the outcome.
Maybe his community service he should have to go play quarterback for the Giants. He should have to go play third string quarterback for the Giants in Tommy DeVito's place.
Clark is funny. I like dealing with Clark. I like dealing with Clark, and I like dealing with CJ. And Jonah and Skipper. They're fun. They're great. I love interacting with them.
Is that community service? Or is that like charity work? What is that? Is he sanitation? Oh, holy shit.
We're winning, right? We're winning?
Yeah, he pled guilty to everything.
Get all the, Hey!
Oh, that's an easy W. All right,
Off with his head! Off with his head! Off with his head!
I'm gonna take a seat on the bench.
I'm so glad that I got introduced to Lang and Peppo, and humbled that I get to RP with him.
Haven't flogged?
Jeez, I can't wait till he gets death row.
Oh my god, Peach!
Oh, Peach, you can't say that. I don't
What
think
do you
he's even
mean?
up for the death penalty.
What? Why are we here?
I think Opal's trying to get his license.
Come on, just tell me it's like 7 years, please. Please, just...
Get the death penalty. Give him the death penalty.
Death, death, death.
Innocent, but
Death,
I want
death,
people
death.
to die.
Die!
Let them die.
You do the crime, you die for the crime.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I think I'm good with what I have.
Oh my god, help!
I want to be on the firing squad.
Oh my god!
Me too.
This place is the creepiest courtroom I've ever been in.
I was gonna say,
It's so tense.
it's so like you could feel it in the air.
All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, order in the court. Judge Beric has returned. Order in the court. Get to your places. Finish what you're doing. Stay quiet.
So I'm just going to get pretty much straight into my verdict on things. I want to start off by saying I wish and I hope that all in this life, before it's too late, in whatever way it may be, seek atonement so that they move on from the ties that bind them. And in this case, Mr. Buddha, I hope this brings you forward for both others and the safety of yours. If the prison currently had the facilities for maximum security, that's where you would be going. But as Officer Pryce has stated, you have shown great remorse for the crimes that you have committed. And while I do believe that realizing one's own faults goes a very long way, as you are surely aware, a toll must be paid. Therefore, the court's ruling at this time shall be the following. Mr. Buddha, you are to serve 9 years of total time, 5 of which will be counted as the time you have served on house arrest, 14 years of parole, and this time you are to complete 5 years of community service, which will be outlined by myself and your parole officer, which at this time will be named as Opal Pryce, and you will also be required to pay $2 million to the state, which will be fined at the end of this trial. You will also be required on your parole to complete 5 consecutive daily therapy sessions while on parole performed by a licensed therapist, which will be named by myself and your parole officer. And on the final day of parole, you must complete a psych eval with a licensed psych before you are fully released. That is the ruling of this court at the time. At this time, thank you all for joining us, and wish you all a great rest of your day and the rest of your weekend.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
That's not bad at all.
Holy shit.
We just gotta make sure that he doesn't run out of here. That's our job.
Well, we have less days to make him proud now.
Well, let's get back to work then.
Mr. Buddha, before you go, I hope you find your peace with this. I hope you're able to get from this what you want, which, from my understanding, is to pay for your sins. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I hope that you can find a way to live through this. What you've done is horrible, but like I said previously, I respect what you did.
Yeah, I love Opal. Love you, Opal. Showing sympathy for a serial killer is crazy, but I love Opal. She's awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll see you out there.
Yeah, we gotta deal with it.
Where do we go from here?
From what I understand, hold on, let's go talk to Beric, but I think you're free, but he wants to know where he goes from this. Is he just allowed to walk out of here? Are you
free? Aren't I going to jail? I better be going to jail, right? Okay, good.
No, he's going to prison.
4 years. He's going to prison.
4 years? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Doc is gonna send him up and bill him.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Yep. Thank you.
Holy fuck, guys. This is such a massive win.
After all this, let me
We good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go. Okay, off you go, Mr. Buddha. You follow them. Jeb falling behind.